What's up, everybody? Red, White, and Blue Life back here again. I'm Chris.
And I'm Anthony.
And this week we are bringing you some new topics and things to talk about and listen to for an hour.
Yeah, there's not too much big stuff going on. But we'll hit.
Yeah, stuff that is. There's one big thing we can start off here about the Russia and Ukraine.
Oh, yeah, that's big.
Big for them. Hopefully not big.
Kind of big for everybody.
Well, if we have to go over there, it'll be big.
Well, we're definitely going to get sucked right into that.
Well,
I mean, it's Biden, so maybe not.
Yeah. But if he does want to get reelected, probably wants
I don't think he does. We talked about this.
We will be over there. I feel like anytime there's a war and the president, they're doing well, it's a good reelection topic.
I just don't think he's got the backbone to do it, especially with Russia.
Yeah, it's a big boy.
Yeah.
They currently have almost 100,000 troops on their border.
Yeah, they said they could be ready for an invasion as soon as next year, 2022.
We just got out of one, man. I hope we don't have to go back.
I just don't. Russia just doesn't seem like the one. What was that? What did they say? Mutually assured destruction?
Yeah. Well, we had a whole Cold War about that.
Yeah, I just don't think that's a good idea.
I mean, you definitely don't want to mess with Putin.
Mess with Putin?
Yeah. He can do whatever he wants. He's not worried about getting reelected.
No.
If he wants it, he can take it. He's the richest man in the whole world.
I was trying to think. What the fuck was that?
I don't know.
I was trying to think of something clever with Putin and his name to like make a joke. I can't do it though.
That's all right.
That's all right. Anyways, so yeah, there is that 100,000 troops. We looked at the map. They've got they're surrounding the whole country of Ukraine minus one exit spot to go back and retreat back into the rest of Europe.
Yeah, they're saying they can have upwards of 5 million refugees going into Europe if this goes sideways.
Well,
that's a big influx of people.
Yeah, and then we're going to piss off China too.
Yeah.
I mean, they're kind of being petty.
Well,
we're kind of being petty.
Well, it's not being petty. I think we should stand up to China. When, to be
That's
fair,
the
we
way
had
you're gonna do it?
we had a whole world war about people in concentration camps.
Okay, check it out. So let's describe what's going on first before we get into what we think about it. The United States has decided to do a diplomatic boycott of the 2022 Olympics, meaning basically we're not going to send any diplomatic representatives to Beijing this year for the 2022 Olympics. Usually we send the First Lady or just a bunch of high-valued people, diplomatic people, to go represent the United States that aren't competing. And Biden has decided that we're not going to do that this year. And China doesn't like that very much.
Yeah, and unfortunately they can get what they want because they have so much money, companies invested.
They just have so many people, too.
They do have a lot of people. But that's not why we're kowtowing to them. Look at the NBA, even John Cena, the movie industry. If we don't make them money, they're not going to sponsor our movies or studios, sports teams, anything. But they have so many people that's where we make all of our money as well.
And they make everything.
Yes.
Everything.
Yeah. Shoes, cell phones, my
Flags.
laptop, your watch, our phones, flags, everything.
Everything.
Yeah, so if...
It's weird to see Made in America.
How do you get off of China's teat?
I don't know.
Other than
you can't really wean yourself off the teat.
I
They would see that shit coming.
Yeah.
You know?
I think there was a president who wanted to bring jobs and stuff back to America to get off that.
And he was taxing imports and shit from other countries.
Mm-hmm.
Made a couple businesses come back. I forgot his name though.
Yeah. So that would be one way.
That would be one way.
That would be one way to get off of it.
Instead of technically cutting off China, it's incentivizing people to do it here. So
that's what we call a win-win in the biz.
That does sound nice. I mean, but
except for the companies that have to pay more, a fair wage to their workers.
Oh yeah, there is that part. That sucks. I mean, you can't fucking beat the wages of a nice sweatshop, bro.
No, but plus their hands are so small that they can really get into those shoes, inside and get that nice tight stitching.
Dude, I saw. How many times am I going to talk about TikTok on this damn show? I spend a lot of time on TikTok, okay? I have a kid now. Sit on the couch, put the baby down. She's not crying. I scroll through some TikToks. Anyways,
Another Chinese
there was
app.
a man. I know. There was a man on there who happened to be of Asian descent. He was making some shoes. It's kind of interesting to see how that's done.
Are they really handmade? I figured they were like
Yeah,
a
dude.
part of a machine.
Nah, bro. Like they have
So
like
it
a
would be beneficial to have
little
small
metal
hands.
foot, and then they fucking stretch. It's weird. It's kind of cool though. They should do it how it's made. On shoes.
How it's made in America, though.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to pay an extra couple bucks, but
I mean, the markup on those have to be insane.
oh, that's how they can sponsor all those
Sports
deals.
teams.
Yeah, all those sports teams, their contracts with the players.
Yeah. I mean, they could pay for Colin Kaepernick to do whatever the fuck he's doing.
Not
right?
play.
He's still rich as fuck. He just hasn't thrown a ball in how long?
That's
Oh my god.
smart for him.
Yeah, but really, I haven't seen anything that says "Made in America." Actually, I just bought. So I had a tattoo done, obviously, as you know.
That was
And
made in America.
The tattoo was, and the artist was made in America too. Shout out to Ink Therapy; they do great work. Anyways, God damn it,
I don't know where you're going with
you
that.
threw me off, bro. Oh, I bought some tattoo ointment or lotion, and I was reading it because I like to read stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a little "Made in America" flag on it. I was like, "Oh fuck, that's
Feels
cool."
good. You get
It's
like
nice.
a little dopamine rush, right?
Yeah, it's nice. Yeah,
Too
it's
infrequent
made by
though.
us.
But I think even for a moralistic standpoint, it's fine to boycott them. I mean, forced sterilization for people in concentration camps. The fact that you even have concentration camps.
Yeah, it's a little odd. It's 2021.
You think?
Okay with the program?
I mean, we really can't make them do anything
No.
other than get stop buying their stuff. But I
Not
don't know if
until we
that's even
get-
a realistic.
Not until
option
we
right
get
now.
independent from them. Then we can make them do whatever the fuck we want.
Yeah,
It wouldn't be very easy, but we could do it.
yeah.
A good way
Might
to
take
do
a
it
while.
would be to change the leadership in this country.
This country?
Yes.
How so?
There's an interesting man in the state of Pennsylvania.
Actually, there's two.
There's two?
Yeah. Oh, we'll talk about this one first.
Okay. I'm kind of a fan.
His ads. Let's talk about who we got
All right.
up first.
His name's Teddy Daniels. He is running for Congress from Scranton, Pennsylvania, Joe Biden's hometown. He kind of seems like a badass dude.
Yeah, I mean he's definitely Trump-esque.
I mean, that's very true. But past that,
He's definitely riding that Trump train.
he does. That makes me. Yeah, I still like him.
I don't dislike him.
I don't dislike him either. I haven't seen too much of him. I
It's gonna
definitely
be
wanna
interesting.
do some
I
more
think it's gonna
research.
be, yeah, it's gonna be interesting for him. He does have some good.
He's got some good
stances.
ads.
Ads are like it would maybe be like a '90s Arnold Schwarzenegger commando movie. Is what they remind me of.
So just
He's
to
a
describe
biker.
this guy, he's like a fucking 6'8", broad, stocky, tattooed biker guy.
Yeah,
Bald headed,
yeah.
Just-
Former law enforcement, military.
Purple Heart recipient.
Yeah.
I mean, on paper, dude looks great.
Mm-hmm.
Especially he's running Republican. So of course he checks all the boxes on the Republican side.
Yeah. The one that stands out for me the most is his healthcare stance. To quote his site here, America deserves access to better, more affordable healthcare. I will fight for real solutions to lower healthcare costs, including lowering drug prices, ending surprise billing, and reducing premiums by expanding competition. So
I think that's the best way to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Because not a lot of people know how like the billing industry works in insurance.
It's
like,
kind of rough.
It's made up.
Completely.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why they have one set of bills for insurance and then another set of bills for self-pay.
Right.
They make a contract with the insurance companies that they only have to pay 50% of the bill.
Probably not even.
Not even. But to compensate for that, they raise the amount they charge by 150%.
Right.
So they still get the same fucking money.
They're
whether
just
it's
charging.
self-pay or
Yeah.
they just charge you more.
So I think that's a natural good way to do it. Is actually reel those in and cut the excess off that.
definitely.
Pro America, pro Trump. I think pro Trump is. I think that's dumb, but being pro America, I think is.
I think people got to stop running on that. I mean, it is true. Like the left side just can't leave that man alone. They are super focused on Trump, and I don't think they're going to change anytime soon until it is evident that him and his family are completely backed out of politics.
Right.
But I mean, if you search Trump still on any news site, you will have constant flow of articles still. I searched it on Apple News just because I like to see what was going on and I wanted to make a point. But I searched on Apple News Trump. And instantly, I get fucking 20 articles that were written within the last 3 hours.
Yeah.
And it's like, what?
Yeah, it's living in the past. I mean, I get they don't. I mean, you would think they want him to run again just so they keep staying relevant in the news. That's the way they got their ratings.
I almost think they do.
I don't know. But, I mean, to be on the right and say you're, like, pro-Trump, I mean, I guess it does align you with his certain, like, views. But does it actually... I think it turns a fair amount of people off as well.
For sure. I think he should have dropped that,
just
to be
do
honest.
pro-America.
Pro-America, definitely.
Which, I mean, that everyone should be pro-America, whether you're on the right or left.
Right. And, I mean, it's evident. Like, you don't have to say pro-Trump. Like, he's pro-securing the border. He says that, you know, his thing says bad laws have created a magnet for illegal immigration and human trafficking across the southern border. So, I mean, it's obvious he agrees with a lot of the things that Trump agreed with. He didn't need to put pro-Trump front and center on the page.
Yeah. Another big one he wants to talk about is term limits.
Term limits.
That's why I think he won't get in.
See, now that's hard. I mean, no, I think he would. I just don't think it's going to happen. Like, you'd have to have enough people to support that in the government.
Yeah. I mean, but who's going to vote to reduce
the people? A fuck ton of people would.
No, yeah, but it's going to be up to his fellow congressmen.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. It's like a lot of people.
Yeah. So he wants to put up for 3 2-year terms, which I think is pretty fair. 6 years, and then go back to whatever you're doing.
Some people, we won't name names, but have never done anything else.
Yeah.
Their entire life.
Never held a real job.
Never. Anyways, there's certain things on this page. I mean, it seems like a pretty good dude, but
that's interesting.
He's definitely far right.
Biker. I don't know what kind of biker ties he has. Some sort of club. I'm assuming it's not an outlaw motorcycle club, or that'd be pretty ironic. But yeah, it seems like a stand-up guy, so it'd be interesting to see how this turns out. I think that he's probably gonna have a good turnout, especially when you consider. If he was in
Arizona, I would vote for him.
Especially when you consider who he's running against. Dr. Oz.
No way.
Yeah.
Like the Dr. Oz?
The Dr. Oz is running for PA Senate. Let's see.
Dude.
Yep, as a Republican.
Oh, see. I don't know. Like,
why?
Politics is like a huge part popularity contest.
Yeah.
Dr. Oz is... I've fucking watched like 3 things of his show. Like, I've never even watched the whole show. I've just seen a couple clips, and I know his name.
Yeah. From Oprah.
Then he got his own show.
Yeah. Then he got his own thing. But he doesn't give you all good information, is what I'm reading online. I never personally watched it, so I can't say.
The name recognition alone carries weight.
And it says doctor.
And it says doctor.
In this culture, it does. Most cultures, I would say, it holds some weight behind that title.
And unfortunately, you're going to have, like, as far as posters go, you're going to have Dr. Oz.
And a biker guy.
And a biker dude in a vest, tatted up.
Which one can you relate more with?
Me?
Just, I think the general public.
As far as, like, tattoos and stuff?
I mean, just the general public. I think they'll be able to relate more with the average guy than...
We are kind of stuck in a weird spot. Because you've just joined the club. But tattooed medical professionals.
Yeah.
We fit right.
I think we're the majority, actually.
Now we are. It's been a long time.
Yeah, I think that people aren't seeing tattoos the same way that they used to now.
No, I was actually talking to the owner. He actually owns the whole building that my tattoo shop's in, and he was saying that he was the first person in Glendale to allow a tattoo shop to be in a commercial building, and it was that tattoo shop, Ink Therapy. Before that, they couldn't be like legally in Glendale. Back, I think, in the late 80s, early 90s.
Oh, really?
They weren't allowed to be in, like, upfront commercial real estate.
We gotta do it in the back of some guy's garage.
Like, warehouses, like off. Like, you couldn't be in a commercial
Huh.
Commercial
That's
building.
interesting.
You had to be like
I
you
mean,
couldn't
now
be a
they're
storefront
now
property.
they're like every 10 feet in Glendale.
They're not the good ones.
No.
Yeah, it's kind of like the
There's some.
massage parlors in Glendale. The good ones aren't closed. If you can't see in the window, you probably get your pee-pee touched.
Dude, that's. I was trying to wait for a drawback
No,
here.
that was
Take your mind off the scratching.
what?
You know what I mean? When
Oh,
you're
for the
tattooing,
tat-
you get both.
that's-
If you
dude.
get both at the same time,
There's one right next door to my tattoo parlor.
dude. After like a long day, just
My guy was tattooing me. I was like, bro, what kind of massage parlor you got next door? And he's like, not a good one.
or is it a good one?
No. He said he's see. Never mind. Fuck.
Anyway, so Dr. Oz. So that's who he's gonna be running against. That's pretty interesting. That is
It's a hell of a race.
That's a juxtaposition between the two, if you will. A clean cut doctor.
So, I mean, but they're running for Senate.
Yeah.
Right? So there's two spots. Are they running for?
Well, they're both Republican.
But each state has two senators.
Yeah, but I don't know.
So are they each running their own race? Or are they running in the same race?
I would imagine it's the same, but I'm not really sure.
I mean, because that'd be cool if they both won.
Yeah, but unlikely. Well, I don't know. What do you think about how the Republicans are going to go here on this? Yeah.
I think
It's
it's going to be quite the ass whooping, to be honest with you,
against the Republicans or against the Democrats?
against the Democrats. I
Yeah.
think Republicans are going to take back a large portion, and that's why a lot of these big bills
Are trying to get pushed now.
right now as fast as they can because they're running out of time, and we've seen it time and time again. As soon as you have, a majority that's not the same as the president in Congress, it just
Switches back the other way.
we just sit for a couple of years.
Well, I think it just riles up the
and argue,
other side. Yeah,
and that's it.
yeah.
And, I mean, it
pretty
already
funny now.
happened this year. The Republicans won a bunch of races this year that they weren't supposed to. Of course, they're all small things, but I think it's just a
And the ones that were, I know, like New Jersey was way closer than it should have been.
right. There's a lot of them that were, and it's just I think it goes to show what's going to happen next, or they let that happen.
Who lets what happen?
The deep state.
The deep state.
They let the Republicans win these little races, so they can't come out and say, "Oh, see, their elections are rigged." But then on the ones that really matter,
Very conspiratorial of you.
I'm just saying, you got to question everything these days. Question everything.
So
Anyways, that's it. That's our guy. Not our guy. That's the guy, Teddy Daniels for Congress out of Scranton, Pennsylvania. Check him out. Kind of makes me want to run. Not gonna lie. If he makes it, I'll think about it.
here's the thing. It's a two-edged sword for me. The idea of running for something, right? Because on one hand, I don't trust any politician.
Would that count if it was yourself?
No.
Okay.
But here's why. I don't think. Well, let me preface that by saying anyone that wants power, I don't think should have it. Because why does someone want power?
But it's not. I see what you mean on that. But in that respect, that kind of puts you into a really shitty situation. That basically anybody who even wants to make a change for the better, who needs to, of course, be in some sort of position of power to make those changes, like, that person's also doing wrong.
Well, I mean, even if you have a handful of people that are super altruistic, go in there, all the right intentions, they're not going to get anything done. Not enough people.
No. But you got to start somewhere.
So
If Teddy Daniels does it, maybe Anthony will be next. Chris.
So if you make it,
Right.
you're in. You know you can't get anything done.
Right.
So now there's a big bill up. It's about, I don't know, infrastructure regarding internet. Cox wants to pay you $100,000. Like, we really don't want this to go through Arizona, wherever. Do you take the money?
No.
Right. However, is that the case? Historically speaking.
That's the thing. Is all these big changes have to start somewhere.
Right, but what is it? Power corrupts absolutely, and absolute power is, I don't know. You don't remember that saying? Let me look it up.
I just feel
Power
like
corrupts absolute.
I feel like it's possible. I don't think it's too far gone. Is the thing. I think there's still
I think it's
some
way too gone.
I don't know. I don't think so. But we're not talking absolute power when you're going into Congress.
No, but you're getting some power.
Not really.
Sure you are.
Like what?
You're influencing all bills passed.
You're one vote.
Yeah.
In a two-branch, like there's two sections of Congress.
No, I understand.
You're one out of fucking hundreds.
I understand how it works.
Right.
But they do matter because you are on that party line, right? So you're expected to vote down that party line.
No.
Yes.
Well, I mean, you're expected to vote on what you ran on. You're supposed
ideally, yes.
Yes.
Because you're only supposed to represent your constituents.
For sure. And if you get elected by the people of your area, you're supposed to vote that way that you said you were going to.
Yes.
Yes.
But if you're a Republican and I'm trying to think of
that doesn't mean you have to check every Republican box.
So
you vote yes on everything. You vote on what you ran on. Like if you happen to run on something like
there's plenty of things that you're going to vote on that you didn't run on.
For sure. But I mean, healthcare really isn't like lowering the way that Teddy runs on his healthcare stuff. It's not really. It doesn't strike me as extremely right-sided Republican.
Right, I don't think it is. I think it would argue that's like common sense stuff is to bring prices in line with what they actually cost.
So, I'm not saying I'm gonna fuck this thing up, dude. We gotta get some cordless stuff. Pay us now. I'm just kidding. I just don't think. I lost my train of thought on that.
I don't know what you're gonna say, but something about
I don't think you have to vote along. You vote on the stuff that you ran on.
Yeah, but if you want support from your party and funding, and you don't vote on, you're not gonna get that funding for future elections, which is where I think people. That's what they see,
and that's where they fall.
And they're like, "Oh, well, I want support from the RNC." You know what I mean, for next election cycle. And if you don't play by their rules, you're not going to get funding to help your next campaign. Which is why I think that people will compromise their values.
How much do you think a website like this costs?
I don't know. $1,000.
Probably not much. TeddyDanielsPA.com.
Well, yeah, but he doesn't need money for that. What you need money for is all your advertising on TV, radio.
Who watches TV anymore?
I'm sure anyone over the age of 50, which is the main voting demographic.
Okay. You win. TikTok, bro.
TikTok work. I'm just saying.
That's how I found
just don't
Teddy.
trust politicians. I just don't trust them. I feel you can't trust anything that comes out of their mouth. They're going to do what's best for them and to secure their financial future than they will for their constituents.
Not if you put on term limits.
I agree with that.
I mean, because before that happens, you're right.
Because, I mean, think about even if you have, 3 2-year limits.
I don't think they make too much, right? It's like $200,000 a year.
$250 or something.
Yeah, I think the president makes $400.
It's more than I make now,
for sure.
So it'd be a come up.
It'd be a good pay raise.
It'd be a come up for us. And I'm pretty sure you get like great health care, and I think you get a pension for doing the Senate as well. Even if you only win one, I think so. You should just fact check that.
Yeah.
Fact check that while I'm talking.
Okay.
Now where was I going with that? Because now you got me messed. Oh, so you got a 2-year window to try and get stuff done. But in reality, since your election after your second year is at the end of it, you're gonna have to start campaigning that second year. And that's gonna take time away from your other duties. So really, you got 1 year to get stuff done, unless you know you're going to win because you're the incumbent and you're more statistically likely to win again, and you just rest on your laurels and not campaign, you can get stuff done that second year, but really you're not going to get stuff done.
True. And in, normal ways that Congress does shit, their benefits plan is like 40 pages. So I'm not going to find anything specific on here. Pension plan. Never mind.
Let's see if I was right or not.
So high, salary times years of service times accrual rate equals annual pension.
So it doesn't say you have to be in for 20 years? That wouldn't make sense.
After 30 years of congressional service.
So even if you do...
Oh, I think they make less than that because this one said like 100.
All right, so even if it's 200 and you do 2 years of service and you times it by the rate, you're still getting something.
Oh, for sure.
So, I mean...
So I guess you'd get it forever, yeah.
It's incentive.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just don't trust them.
But that's part of the reason why it would be good for you to run.
I just don't think there's enough of altruistic people running right now to make a difference.
You have to start somewhere.
And
right now there's not.
I get it. Be the change you want to see.
Right. It's got to start somewhere.
Yeah. But I mean, I just think it's an uphill battle. I mean, it's definitely an uphill battle.
It's 100% uphill battle.
It's an expensive uphill battle.
I know.
Unless you get funding. And what kind of problems are you going to have to make to get that funding?
You know what part gets me the most? The door-to-door shit.
I don't want to do that.
I don't want to fucking do that.
Yeah, especially because most people are single-issue voters and they only care about one issue or two issues.
Yeah.
And think about I'm Second Amendment issues. You know what I mean? That's where do you land on that is my big thing. I think most people are just single issue. And you're just kind of like, I can tolerate the rest.
Right. Just don't fuck me too hard.
Yeah.
You can fuck me
a little bit.
Just don't full on rape me.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So you did day one, we're anti-rape. Day one is day one
rape
issue.
Is bad, okay? All right.
Yeah.
So
it's
I don't know. I think it's good. I think
it's good we're getting more less famous people running.
For sure. There's less. I mean, they have to. All the famous people that have been there for their whole fucking life.
True, it was all about to die.
Yeah,
it's. How did it not have an age limit? There's an age minimum to get in.
Yes,
I think that the age.
I think it should be a competency limit.
No, I think it should be. You have to be out by retirement age. Because why are you making decisions for our country that aren't even going to affect you? You have no skin in the game.
A lot of it still affects them.
Some of it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say a lot. I mean,
Taxes,
Medicare will affect them.
Taxes, Medicare.
Yeah, but I mean, they're done. They had their chance to do stuff.
It's a bold position you're making.
The time that they have left on this earth is like statistically 20 years.
What, you're 65?
65. The average age is like 85. Actually, it might be under 85.
I don't know. I hope I don't make it till 85.
Oh.
85 seems like a long ass time.
Especially if it's a hard 85.
I'm telling you, as soon as I can't wipe my ass anymore, I'm out. Checking out.
Funny you should mention that. Switzerland just passed their death pod. Well, they didn't pass it. They're looking at it. Yeah. It's so you Google, you answer some questionnaires online, and it determines if you're of sound mind. And once you pass these, you get directions towards this. Oh, life expectancy is 78 years. So you have 17 years left on Earth. So
what you're telling me now is Biden's past it, right? How old is he? I don't even know. Dude, this looks kind of...
It's not bad. We'll talk about that in a minute. So let's go back to this. So 78 years. So you have like 65, 13 years left on Earth. That's not much time to do anything, right? I'm not saying that they put them out the pasture. I'm just saying to make changes in the government, they're going to affect. It should affect your generation, the one before it. You know what I mean? That doesn't. If you're done, you could have done all this change, and now you just want to run. I just don't think it's
Except for maybe president.
No, especially not president.
Why?
What if they got to go to war? Their son is going to be already outside.
No.
Yes.
That's not necessarily true.
Well,
yeah, that's true.
Their son's going to be outside the draft age. Not that they would get drafted anyway. But, I mean, it doesn't affect them. They're going to be gone within a decade. If it's someone that's 45, 50, they still got to live another 30 years with the choices they made.
They've only been eligible at that point for 10 years.
That's fine. What's the matter how long you've been eligible for it? It matters is how long you have to live with the choices that you made for society that still affect you once you're out of office.
All right, I can respect it.
Even the most laws don't even affect them outside of office.
I mean, in my head, what I was thinking is you would want your most experienced, knowledgeable person in charge.
No, and that's another thing I disagree with. People say, "Oh, they have no experience to be president." Well, no one does unless you've been president of a country. You should not. It should be based on like who you think is most fit to do the job in terms of like experience wise or work wise. I think it should be like. Honestly, I think it should be a more like managerial experience. It doesn't matter if you have the right question or right answer to something. If I asked you, what's the best way to increase test scores or to raise the average grade up? Say you want America to be smarter. I wouldn't ask, it doesn't matter what I think as a president. You should be able to reach out to people in that field to get the answer.
Yeah.
So I think it's how you can manage your people better and get the answer.
Using
now, what
resources.
you personally think, I don't care what you think. You're the most powerful person in the country. You should be able to get whoever you want to come up with the answer.
Okay.
That's why they have a whole military joint chief of staff. Yeah. So it's not I don't care if you have the experience to run a country. I want to know how you manage people and get them to do what you need them to do to get to the expected outcome.
I mean, I agree with you. I think that's...
And especially also when you're 70 years old, I can keep going on about this.
I can tell.
When you're 70 years old, you're not in touch with current like ways people do things. Like if you grew up in the Great Depression, you have a whole different outlook on life, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's what's best.
I'm just going to say I definitely don't want to see Gen Z fucking run.
No, but I think 35 to 65. That's a 30-year window.
Okay.
To just make some changes. And it's not even... You're not even making that many changes. You're just making sure... You should really only be charged, like, are we going to war? And, like, disasters and stuff. As a president.
For sure. And foreign affairs.
Yeah. Which you have diplomats for. It's not even your job. You got diplomats to do that job.
Just the big decisions.
That's it. So you just
like talking to Putin and telling him to sit down.
I'll tell him more than that, yeah.
And just shit your pants in front of the Pope.
No, it's Biden.
That's my point.
So, yeah, I mean, think about that. Like, you got your president pooping his pants in front of the world. Like, come on, man, you're embarrassing me. Like, you want someone that's going to make you look good. I don't know. You want someone to represent you that looks professional, that acts like I don't think Trump acted professional.
You don't think?
No, I think he was like a knucklehead.
Well, I mean, especially when it came to...
I sure as shit didn't trust him. I'm just a slimy, like, New York City politician. Like, I'm not saying he made bad choices. I'm just saying, like, aesthetically, in the way he sounded and talked in his demeanor, I don't trust him. I'm not saying he made bad choices. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, like...
Policy-wise, I don't think...
Yeah, no, exactly.
He just needed to shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
There was a lot of times he needed to shut up.
No.
Put that on his Twitter.
Yeah, that's why you hire...
Fixed it.
And again, that's why you hire a social media expert to do that. Like, you don't have to do anything. You get the...
To be honest, the shitty part is I almost guarantee he has one.
Yeah, and they're...
I mean, could you honestly...
Shut up. I got this.
Could you honestly see Trump with his little cell phone and those tiny little hands?
Yeah.
Trying to fucking type.
There's no way a social media person did that.
Someone else did it for him.
Yeah, you know, they're just
he was
shaking
just
their head the whole time. Like,
God, you want this to say what? Are you sure?
How many exclamation points? Yeah, so I don't know. So I don't think like that's a fair thing to say. Like I think you should be like how you. Like, I don't know if even CEOs. I think CEO would be an equivalent of like, were you successful? Did you hire the right people to get your expected outcomes? I think that's more in line of, oh, I was a politician for 15 years. I was able to cross whatever bipartisan issues. I think that's great, but that doesn't tell me anything about how you can get stuff done. That just tells me you guys played golf together and you already come up with a compromise. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So anyway, back to the death pod.
Was this actually something you wanted to talk about today?
No, it just happens to.
It just fell.
It just happens to tie into.
How did we get here?
So once you hit, we were talking about getting old. We don't want to live to 85.
Yes. It looks pretty badass.
Yeah, for those people who don't deal with the elderly or geriatric population very frequent, it is a rough kind of topic at the end of life situation. People say like dying with dignity. It's not really my view that people die with dignity. It's sad. It's hard. People typically go out without dignity, especially if you're a full code.
And we see the shitty aspects of that.
Yeah, but this, on the other hand, is death pod does have some dignity to it. So you go to the remote location, and from what I'm reading between the lines here, you fill out this online application. It gives you coordinates to where to find the pod. You sit in the pod, ask you some more questions, and you can either sit in some idyllic location, or I guess it can load up the interior of the screen to whatever view you want. Mine would be some snowy cabin. It decreases the oxygen, increases the nitrogen.
And you take a cocktail of stuff.
No.
Yeah. Currently,
that's the current stuff.
Oh,
it's saying this is what this would do.
Allow a person to control my death by quickly reducing internal oxygen. Oh yeah.
And then you just you get a little bit of delirium, and you go to sleep forever. It's pretty interesting.
And then you use the pod as a coffin.
Now we'll put some oak trees on top of me.
It looks fancy and futuristic as fuck.
Yeah, it's definitely not probably going to be here for a while. But I mean, we had this talk the other day. Like, if you have I think there should be other issues, other ones, but for assisted suicide.
I mean, I personally have some history with family suicides, and that kind of makes my view on this a little jaded in certain ways, I guess. In cases of just, I'm depressed and I'm done. I'm going to give up on my life and my family and my responsibilities and shit and just, be out at this age or 60 or whatever, young. Definitely, I don't think it should be used like that. But you're 95 years old, you can't walk anymore, can't wipe your own ass, you're going to die soon anyway. I'm for that. So it just depends on how it's going to be used.
Well, either way, they already have the laws in place, and they just approved this one. So I'm assuming it's whatever in line with whatever laws they already have. I'm sure it's like for terminal issues.
Yeah.
So, but interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. It looks cool as fuck. Like, if I had to choose how I would die, this sounds like a good way to go.
It's definitely not a bad way. There's definitely way worse ways to go.
For sure. Drowning.
On fire.
Being buried alive.
Ooh.
There's a lot, dude.
By a shark. Yeah.
I don't know.
Or like if you're in the ocean, when you're in a pool and you dive down, and sometimes when you were a kid, you would come up, you would be underneath the raft, and you'd be like,
oh, yeah.
Imagine that, but in the ocean. Yeah. That's a pretty bad way to go.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I was watching it was a video. This one actually wasn't a TikTok, believe it or not. But it was a guy, he jumped off a dock right next to where like a giant fucking cruise ship was driving by. Like not super far. And like all of a sudden he's like trying to swim and he can't fucking swim because the giant propeller on this thing. Oh. And like, I don't know how it ended. It didn't show how it ended.
Just blood coming out the back of the prop.
I mean, that probably isn't the worst. You're probably dead instantly on that one.
No, well, it depends. Not if it sucks you from your legs up. there's a gap there between your legs.
What if you just got lucky and it's just like you
Took an arm?
right through the blades?
No,
Like it just-
impossible. RPMs are way too fast on that, or maybe they're not. I don't know. My sailing knowledge is not what it used to be.
Yeah, no. I don't even know what the propellers on a fucking giant cruise ship look like.
No. I mean, I know on subs, I think, or like freighters, I think that they turn at like 60 some RPMs. So it's still enough to get you a couple times going up your body.
Depends on how fast you get through.
Yeah, I'm sure the terminal velocity of getting stuck to a propeller is.
No.
But we'll get that for you next show here.
No, we won't.
What else we got lined up today here? They were talking about, they heard the abortion rulings,
Yes.
or the arguments, I should say. So
I think there's going to be some changes made.
in what way?
I think. I don't know if Roe v. Wade is going to be outright overturned, but I think there's going to be some new. I don't know.
I don't think
new lines.
Well, they need to clearly define it better.
Yes.
Especially because Roe v. Wade was just like healthcare privacy.
And I just don't see how that ties it.
Right. So they're probably going to, there's no way they get rid of it, I would imagine. There's no way they're going to just get rid of it. However, people are starting to act a little crazy, especially with the justices, how they're more conservative, and they think that that's going to get that overturned.
I saw a headline that said that they're forcing women to be incubators, and I just can't get with that mindset.
Oh, I mean,
As long as you have the option to abortion it at some point, up to 16 weeks, sure, we'll just throw that as an arbitrary line that's not for us to decide. But that's 4 fucking months.
mm-hmm. First trimester.
That's longer than first trimester, 4 months.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you should be able to reasonably make a decision in that amount of time.
Yeah, but I think the biggest thing that should come out of here is a specific, like, define life. When is it life?
Right. Because
Or-
once it's determined to be alive, then it does in fact have rights. And if
Right.
you can't make your decision before that being has rights, then sure, if you want to look at it as you're an incubator, there you are.
No.
Or you
So-
could just take the precautions to avoid that.
Yeah, the dick switch.
The dick switch.
So I think that's
Episode 1
that's-
reference?
Yeah.
Dick switch.
That's something I'm not. I won't say excited, but I'm kind of anxious to see how.
I want to see how it turns out.
Yeah, how it turns out. I'm curious because with the 14th Amendment, healthcare privacy, it's not specifically outlining abortion. I wonder where that stance goes to on vaccines of not getting a medical procedure. And
The vaccine thing is just sorry. Vaccine thing is really weird for me too. We've talked about it before. So of course, New York and California have both done what they've called a first in nation law when it comes to the vaccine. California, I believe, was the first one to make it mandatory to go to school, and now it's mandatory to go into any kind of public establishment. And then New York said that anybody working in the private sector has to get it by December 27th. No option of testing out weekly.
Hey.
I don't know, dude. It's hard because the way that they pushed this, it's almost like the way that they wanted to get people to do it was almost by insulting their intelligence and by like talking shit and
Well, I feel that's how. Well, again, I feel that's how most politicians are. They feel that they know better than everyone else.
that's not the way to convince people to do things.
Well, they're not trying to convince you. They're telling you have to do this.
But that's not how it's supposed to work. That's my point. Like, they should have. I don't know. If they really wanted people to do it, they shouldn't be saying that you're stupid and that because you don't want the vaccine that you automatically think that they're trying to fucking microchip you and all this. I mean, just because you don't agree with forcing a vaccine on someone doesn't make you a tinfoil hat guy. You know what I mean? It can come down to just the principle of this is, I don't know, for lack of a better term, my body, my choice. It really comes down to that.
It's also funny because they're talking about the tinfoil hat conspiracy. Like, oh, we don't know what's in it. But now they're coming out talking about the myocarditis and shoot the other one. But they're like, well, I mean, it can happen. And now it's slowly coming out. And I feel like no one's really talking about it.
Well, no. I mean, some of those same people who say they don't want the vaccine and that, they don't know what's in it, still take like the monoclonal antibodies and the remdesivir. Like, there's a ton of
no
shit.
idea what's in that.
Like, we still have to tell people, like, bro, you sure?
Yeah, here's a
this
packet.
is an experiment.
Here's a packet you got to read first before I give you this.
Here's a packet. It costs like $3,000 for a bag, and it technically
you're still gonna get sick, just not as sick.
Just not as sick. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just not the way. I would never go. Like, you couldn't tell me, you're an idiot and you're a conspiracy theorist and and then convince me to do what you are. With no other product.
Well,
would that be an acceptable way to get me to purchase your product?
That's just politicians being scummy. They're just saying we know better than you.
Fauci's a fucking idiot.
We should have a show on that.
All on Fauci.
Yeah,
I like that.
Maybe
he's been caught in so many fucking lies,
dude. The biggest one is him and the AIDS thing, which we'll get out. So
research time.
Again, that's so. But so you don't think like the governor, those people are taking money from big pharma?
Oh,
like,
dude,
they're having
for sure.
records. That's what I'm saying. You can't trust them. Don't trust them.
The only people who benefited from this pandemic were the people that were already rich.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
100%.
That's what Bezos had a divorce, lost half his money, and made it all back up plus more during it. It's wild. It
is wild. Like the amount of times I think Amazon comes to my house like 4 times a week.
Oh yeah.
To be honest.
Yeah, I definitely got some form of stock shared in there. How much I get.
I want to see because I have an Amazon Prime credit card. I want to see how much I've used that credit card in 2021, and then I don't want to see it.
I don't want to see the price. I just want to see how many times.
So, I like to see my rewards that I got.
Yeah, so, I mean, just think about it. If they're like, hey, we'll give you $5 million if you pass this law.
That's pretty steep. I don't think that's how that works.
I mean, obviously, you can't give them money for a law because that would be illegal. However, if they were like, once your governorship is done here, if you want to come to our board of directors and make $5 million a year, we'll hire you. That's not against the law.
No.
And that's a hard one to turn your nose up at.
But I'm trying not to answer immediately because I want to say, no, it's not. Like, if you are an honorable person, like if you are technically the right person for the job and do think that you can do it unbiasedly away from that kind of influence, that's good. And that's what I think that if I ever was in that position, I could say right now, I don't think I'd be easily persuaded like that. But if you walked up to me with a briefcase with $5 million, I don't know.
Money talks.
Money does talk. My butt might pucker a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like I would like to think that I couldn't be bought.
I mean, everyone's got a price tag. It's just how high is that number?
But that brings me back to I'm one vote in Congress. As president, different story. But in Congress, you're one vote. 1 out of 748. Is that how many?
Right, but sometimes you might only need one vote because typically the count's typically pretty close for bipartisan issues. They would say one's for, one's against. If they can swing your one vote, that could be the make or break. True. And what would the price of that vote cost?
It would have to be pretty fucking hefty. I don't think $5 million would do it.
No, I mean,
I don't know. I'm
$5 million for a 1 day worth of work.
It's not a 1 day worth of work. It's a lifetime of repercussions.
Yeah, but if you're 65, you don't have any repercussions.
It
You're
depends
about to
on
go
what
into
it
a
is.
nursing home.
The big ones, the big issues that people would be willing to pay millions of dollars to sway your vote on do affect everybody.
They do affect everyone, but I'm saying that's why you should get out before retirement age, because it's not going to affect you as long.
We're mixing way too many topics into the same little.
I don't know. I'm just saying.
We're like all the way back at the beginning.
I'm just saying. I don't trust them. And I don't know if I want to be one day.
I don't know. Part of me would
hard,
like
it's
to.
hard, you gotta look. You gotta live with yourself. You gotta look in the mirror. You know what I mean?
And I honestly think I could. I think I could.
I think anyone can do it. There's been some dumb. There's a senator in Hawaii who thought that you can't have too many people on one side of the island or it's going to flip over. Like, anyone can do the job.
That's not what I'm saying.
This is how well you can do it.
I'm saying. I think that I don't think I could be bought like that. Is what I'm saying. I'm fairly confident that I'd be able to keep a level head. I think you would have to come at me with some pretty big stuff.
They do.
I don't think one vote is worth that much, bro.
Well, we'll see. All right, guys.
Is that it for the day?
That's about it. I think next week. Oh, I want to talk about the trial, but we're nearing our hour here.
Yeah, Ghislaine.
I don't know who that is.
What the fuck is her first name?
Ghislaine?
Ghislaine Maxwell.
Yeah. The trial no one's talking about. The most influential trial since Epstein didn't actually go to trial.
Rittenhouse.
yeah, since Rittenhouse.
This wasn't very long ago.
This one actually can have way more repercussions.
Repercussions? Bro, no. This bitch needs to be locked up.
No, I mean,
she needs to go away.
She needs to start snitching. Would you give her immunity for flipping on everyone?
I don't think there should be immunity.
Well, what's the incentive
I guess
for her to tell?
You go from fucking death penalty to, or life in solitary confinement to Gen Pop. That's that's what you get. You already shat in your bed. You get to sleep in it for a while.
That's fair.
Like, you fucked with kids for years.
Yeah.
And apparently hundreds of them.
I want to know what deal they're making. They're not telling us. You can't air it.
I don't know why.
I kind of get why they're not airing it, though. Because imagine they had the pilot come on. He's like, oh, Bill Clinton was on the plane. I guess Chris Rock was on the plane. Then the media would run with that.
Jay-Z?
Yeah, the media would run with that as soon as that comes out. You know what I mean? Chris Rock on Lolita Express. You gotta do that in Alex Jones' voice, though.
Oh, my God.
So I get why. On one hand, I get it. On the other hand, air out these motherfuckers.
There's rumors that the Sean Carter, Jay-Z, is involved, too. I don't know, dude.
Let's see. I think
I'm surprised she hasn't killed herself.
Or someone else hasn't killed herself.
That's what I'm saying. Oh,
all right, guys.
That's
it. Nope.
That's the cue.
That's the cue. We gotta go, guys.
Dave is awake. Nap time's over. More on the Maxwell trial, and maybe even a little Jesse Smollett.
Oh,
his trial's starting too.
Yeah, his one's pretty good as well.
Fucking people.
All
right, that's it for this week, guys. I think one more thing before we go. I think we should start hitting. We say this every time, but TikTok. I think we should be able to get. If we could get 1,000 followers on TikTok,
we can get one on here.
No. We can do lives on TikTok. And if we could do that, I think we could get a lot more people here.
All right.
Because there's some stupid fucking people I would love to argue with on TikTok.
I do like that. I do like arguing with dum-dums.
And we could do that. So we're going to try to hit the TikTok. Maybe we'll make one today. We'll see. Other than that, that's it, guys.
So have a good week. We'll see you next weekend.
See you later.